Welcome to how to create your driver load. In the ITS dispatch system, we do have multiple tabs on the top here. The one that we're going to be looking at today will be your admin tab. Within your admin tab, this is your data entry point. This is where you're going to enter in all of your data, your customers, whoever's paying you, your shippers, where you pick up the load, your consignees, where you drop off the load, the drivers who haul the loads for you, your trucks and your fleet, and your trailers. If you are dealing with going over the border and you deal with customs brokers, then you're going to want to enter them into the system as well. One thing with the ITS dispatch system is the more information that you enter into the system, the more you can search for, the more options you have. Now I have everything in the system, so we're going to get rolling on building a load. You're going to see here that I have two different options. I have a new active load and I have a new pending load. With a new pending load, I can put in partial information and save the load. It will not assign a load number. With a new active load, you have to have all the details. You need to have all of the information in order to save it, and a new active load is automatically going to assign a load number once you click save. We're going to build a new active load. Once your load page opens up, it's very standard, it's very simple, very easy to work with. So your bill to is your customer. So we're just going to pick a random customer in my system. The dispatcher is always going to be the person who's logged in, the person who's building the load. If you do deal with sales reps, you can have up to 2 sales reps on a load at a time. You can select your first sales rep, and you can select your second sales rep on the system as well. The status of the load is always going to be open when you do a new active load. You also have an option here where it says WO. This is your work order number. This is normally the number associated to the customer. So this is their load number. So we're just going to put in a number here. Below that, you've got an option here that says type. Now the type is the kind of haul. So a line haul is kind of a point A to point B, but as you can see, we have multiple different options here. You can go by rate per mile with a fuel surcharge, rate per mile, you can go pallets, you can do labor, hourly, hotshot, whichever you would prefer. Line haul is the most common, we're going to stick with that. For this rate box here, this rate is what the customer is paying you. If you charge the customer a flat rate, this is where you're going to put it. If you're adding additional things on, I'm going to show you where to add those. We're going to say that the load is $2,000. This box here labeled with the P&D, this is your picks and drops. If you charge the customer for multiple picks and drops, this is where you're going to put the total dollar value of what you're charging the customer. So we're going to say that we're charging them $100 for picks and drops. This box here is your fuel surcharge. You have the option to do a percentage of this rate here, or you have the option just to put in a dollar value. We're going to put in a percentage. We're going to set it at 5%. Sorry, let's do 15%. And it's going to calculate out my fuel for surcharge. It's going to add it all together. Now the other option that we have here under the other charges is where you can put in advances if the customer has given you an advance, and additional charges, which could be your lumber fee. Say it's $150, and tarps. And we're going to say that's $100. Now what we're also going to do is put in an advance here. We're going to say it's a fuel advance. And we're going to say that they gave us $400 for fuel. I'm going to say okay. This is going to total all your information up, whatever you've put into the system, and it's going to put it in total the balance here at the rate, and that gives you your total of what the customer is going to be paying you at the end of this trip. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that on this line here that you select your driver. So if we're going to select Dave Wild, this is telling me that his driver's license expires in 134 days, his next medical, and his drug test. I'm going to say okay. We're going to go here and we're just going to put a flat with tarps. We're going to select our truck. It's going to give me a suggested start location. We're going to say Atlanta, Georgia. Select our trailer. This flat rate box here, people get this very confused in regards to the customer or the driver. This box here is for the driver. This is not for the customer. If you put a dollar value in this flat rate box, it is going to override how you pay the driver. So if you normally pay the driver a percentage or you pay the driver per mile, this dollar value will override it and they will only be paid what is in this box. Just to make sure, this is not for the customer, it's for the driver. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put in the shipper, so where we're picking up this load. So let's say we're picking up this load, just randomly pick a customer here. Let's go for long haulers in Coconut Grove. We're going to say that we're picking up bird feed. We're going to say truckload. The quantity is how many, so we're going to put 500. I'm going to say my weight is 12.5. Now you're going to notice that that automatically populated into my description type and quantity. That's fantastic. Shipping notes. These are notes that are for the driver. So we're going to say go to loading dock 6 and speak with Tom. This is going to print up on our rate confirmation for the driver. PO numbers. This is your purchase order number. So we're going to say that that's our purchase order number. They need to show this when they go to pick up this load. Now with a customs broker is the person that will deal with everything border-wise for you if you're going over the border. Some people do use them, some people do not. We're not going to use one today. So for my consignee, I'm going to say that my consignee is my Muskoka Wildlife Feeders in Bracebridge, Ontario. We're going to change my date because we know it's not going to take that long. My bird feed, my truckload, and my 500 has already copied, and my delivery notes, I'm just going to put must be delivered before 3 p.m. This way they know, and we're going to put our PO number in the system. This is, now the load is basically ready to go, so all I'm going to do right now is run my mileage so I know exactly what my miles are for my driver. Because I pay my driver per mile, I need to transfer that over. So I want to make sure that I transfer these miles over so that I pay my driver correctly when it comes down to my driver pay. Once I click save, that load is now on my dispatch board. It is open, it has a load number, and it is good to go. I can change my status when I need to change my status, but that is how you build your driver load.